Kai Sotto has been flying under the radar of basketball communities and has been one of the most talked about international prospects by NBA scouts in the past couple of years. And that is because the 7'3", 18-year-old Filipino big man has an intriguing mix of elite physical tools and skills for a guy his size. Sotto has the typical back-to-the-basket skill set of traditional centers while also having the ability to stretch his game into the perimeter, which qualifies him as a potential stretch 5 type of player, and as we know, such kinds of players are seen as high-demand commodities in today's NBA. Sotto was initially expected to declare for the 2021 NBA draft, but after failing to suit up for the GLeague Ignite team during the recently concluded bubble and because of his draft ineligibility, things have taken a different turn for the young prospect. But Sotto will now have his chance to further increase his stock for the 2022 NBA draft after signing a multi-year deal with the Adelaide 36ers of the Australian NBL. But is Australia's premier men's basketball league really a good breeding ground for young aspiring NBA prospects like him? And what exactly are the parts of Kai Sotto's game which he will need to develop during his time in the NBL for him to be NBA draft ready in 2022? So what's good guys, it's LaMelo Balls here, and before we move on, please make sure to hit that like button if you're a Kai Sotto fan and if you enjoy content like this. It only takes a second of your time, but it definitely helps the channel a lot and it will be much appreciated. So let's get to it. According to Kai Sotto's agent, multiple NBA teams have already expressed interest in drafting the young prospect if ever he was going to declare for the 2021 NBA draft, despite him not being able to showcase his skills in the G-League bubble. So basically, it was already safe to assume that Sotto would have been part of an NBA roster after the 2021 draft. But the thing is, due to Sotto graduating from high school just this April of 2021, it was announced that he would have to wait for next year to be deemed draft eligible. And for what is worth, Sotto will be able to further increase his draft stock as he plays in the NBL in preparation for next year's NBA draft. And to be honest, opting to sign with the Adelaide 36ers might be one of the best career moves that the young prospect has made throughout his career. Because in recent years, Australia's NBL has been recognized by fans as one of the most increasingly competitive and one of the most physical men's basketball leagues around the world. And throughout the years, the league has been home to NBA standouts like Andrew Bogut, who has played in the NBL for 2 seasons, Utah Jazz wing Joe Ingles, who played in the NBL for 3 years before moving to the NBA, as well as longtime Spurs guard Patty Mills, who has played 1 season in the NBL during the NBA's lockdown in 2011. And of course, before being drafted 3rd overall in the 2020 NBA draft, 2021 NBA Rookie of the Year frontrunner LaMelo Ball of the Charlotte Hornets played 1 season for the Illawarra Hawks during the 2019-2020 NBL season, wherein he led the team with 6.8 assists per game while scoring 17 points per game for the season. And though a lot of draft scouts questioned LaMelo's play in the NBL as he only shot 37% from the field and 25% from deep in 12 games for Illawarra, we've already seen how he has been torching the competition as a rookie in the NBA. Another guy who has thrived in the NBL and has continued to play well in the NBA is Jae'Sean Tate. The 6'4" forward has averaged more than 16 points a game during his 1 season for the Sydney Kings in 2019-2020, allowing him to be selected as part of the All-NBL first team. And currently, Tate is continuing his great play for the rebuilding Houston Rockets as he's averaging 11 points per game as a rookie. So basically, the NBL isn't just a stepping stone for young prospects to enter the NBA, as the league has proven to provide a great competitive environment for its players, which is definitely an ideal setting for young aspiring NBA hopefuls. But why is the NBL exactly the right league for a young developing big man like Kai Sotto? Well, according to multiple basketball insiders, the NBL style of play still puts emphasis on running plays around traditional big men, which is quite different from what we're used to seeing in the NBA right now. And of course, the NBL is actually a grown man's league, and that is why it's also reported to be very highly physical. And this should be a welcome environment for Kai Sotto, who was cited time and again by NBA scouts for his apparent lack of physical strength. But how should we really expect Kai Sotto's game to develop in a professional league like the NBL? Well, the good thing about Sotto is that for a big man, his skill set is already quite unique in itself, and he has already been praised by NBA scouts in the past because he isn't just a big man who lives around the paint, but he has the ability to extend his range and shoot from the perimeter as well. As according to a scouting report released last December of 2020, top ESPN draft expert Mike Schmitz has said that Kai Sotto is a big man who displays a legitimate touch from the mid-range, and his fluid shooting stroke also suggests that he would be able to stretch it from the 3-point line consistently consistently in the future. And also, Phoenix Suns head coach Monty Williams has also recently shown praise for Sotto, as he said that for a big man, Kai has a free-flowing shot and that is a good rhythm shooter, which means that he projects to be a potential effective stretch big man in the NBA. And further, Sotto's overall basketball fundamentals have also been noticed by scouts, and recent evaluations about him has given emphasis on his ability to finish with either hand at the basket and on his natural shooting touch, as according to a scouting report by ESPN draft scout Jonathan Givony, quote-unquote, Kai has the ability to make these kinds of shots, whether it be a floater off the post or a floater off a crossover. That's not a kind of shot that you see from a lot of bigger players. And I think those evaluations coming from some of the most respected draft scouts in the world says a lot about Kai's potential, and I think this indicates that Kai Sotto's offensive ceiling is really projected to be high for a big man of his age, because overall, Sotto can just do a lot of things with the ball in his hands, while he has also shown glimpses of having good passing ability which you don't always see from 7-footers. And I think if he continues to develop his game as a passing big man, most especially in a motion type offense which is now employed by a lot of NBA teams, then his draft stock will have the potential to really skyrocket, because I think there's no other type of player that's more highly coveted in the NBA nowadays than a big man who can score from multiple areas of the floor and who can pass the ball as well. And I think Kai Sotto's skill set fits the Adelaide 36ers style of play very well too, because Coach Connor Henry's team loves to play it slow in the half court while running a lot of its offense through its big man. The team also ranks as the third best 3-point shooting team percentage-wise during the current NBL season. Adelaide starting center Daniel Johnson, who is one of the best offensive big men in the league, is currently shooting almost 41% from 3. And if Kai Sotto can showcase his talent by emulating how Johnson plays as a stretch big for the team, then he will definitely be able to develop his versatile scoring game, which will just help him in the long run. While on the defensive side of things, what immediately stands out aside from Sotto's height is his 9'3" standing reach, which is an elite measurement for a big man even by NBA standards. And the thing is, Kai doesn't only have long arms, he also has good timing and anticipation, which allows him to block shots and alter lobs at the rim. Sotto has already shown his shot blocking ability when he averaged a tournament best 4.3 blocks during the King Invitational Tournament while playing for the Skills Factory prior to him committing to the G League. And during the current NBL season, it's worth noting that among the top 5 leaders in blocks per game, no one actually stands 7 feet tall or above. And so that in itself could potentially provide an advantage for Kai Sotto if he's able to utilize his height and his timing while functioning as a rim protector. But of course, big men today can't always camp in the paint on defense, as NBA bigs are also expected to be able to defend the perimeter as well. And according to ESPN draft expert Mike Schmitz during his December 2020 scouting report, although Kai can be agile while running on the floor, he can still improve his lateral quickness. And that means that Kai will most definitely have to polish his pick and roll defense for him to be a versatile defender in the NBA. Overall, given Sotto's size and length, his potential value on defense is already undeniable, but how good he could still become on that end depends on how hard he would work on his development. While currently, the Adelaide 36ers have a potential 2021 NBA first-round pick and 6'8", 18-year-old Josh Giddey, whose playstyle has been compared to fellow Australian Ben Simmons. Currently, Giddey, who's projected to be the 13th pick in the 2021 NBA draft, is currently averaging 11 points, more than 7 rebounds, and more than 7 assists for the season. And if Josh Giddey's game and current NBA draft stock is a reflection of how good this Adelaide team develops its young players, then I think Kai Sotto is definitely in good hands with the team, and that could mean a lot in terms of his development. Overall, we have yet to see how Sotto will perform in a grown man's league like the NBL, and for real, how he plays will most likely affect his NBA draft stock. But as it is, Kai Sotto is a young prospect who has the size, the skills, and an advanced feel for the game, and NBA teams will definitely find it hard to pass up on that kind of a player. So thank you for sticking until the end of the video, and a huge shout out to all of you who requested for more Kai Sotto content. Also, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing as well. Again, this is LaMelo Balls, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.